this past week, we had the premiere of Reality. And Reality is a film that comes from director Tina Satter, and it follows NSA whistleblower Reality Winner, and particularly focuses on the interrogation that she went through by FBI agents. It stars it stars Sydney Sweeney, and Tina Satter, who did this movie, is a playwright from New York City. This is based on Is This a Room? And now, if I could put my other hat back on that I normally wear throughout the week, as a journalist, I was one of the few to cover Reality Winner's case, going to Augusta, Georgia, where she lives. She worked as a contractor for a firm called Pluribus International. She's a linguist. She was a translator. She was working there, and that was where she had access to the classified information, the NSA report that she disclosed to The Intercept, which is a part of the film. And so we get this shot, but this is not part of the original play. What the movie allowed Tina to do, and the people involved in this creation of this work to do, was to insert some scenes showing Reality Winner at the workplace. But verbatim, this movie is based upon a transcript that exists from the FBI of the interrogation when the agents came to the home where Reality Winner lives. And when they came to the house, they show their badges to Reality. And then there begins this, as Reality Winner says in a promotional clip, a kind of chess match for her life with the FBI that lasts for multiple hours. Where she is there, and they're skittish. The FBI agents don't trust her movements. They micromanage everything about what she is going through. And this interrogation not only is the subject of a play, it was of interest to Tina Satter primarily because the agents were men, and here was a woman, and she wanted to explore the gender dynamics and what it was like to have agents come in and control her. And the home in which she lived is relatively small home. And she's outside. She has her pets. She has her dog and her cat that she needs to take care of. They're asking her all these questions. They're trying to catch her off guard. And eventually they do get her into a room in which she can be questioned. These agents, the white agent is Justin Garrick, an FBI special agent, and he's played by Josh Hamilton. And then the black agent is Marchant Davis, who is playing an agent named Wally Taylor, also an FBI special agent. And in the film, this is really where everything kicks off here. The Reality Winner is being interrogated, and it does a good job of representing the dynamics of what went on with this interrogation. But I was actually in Reality Winner's house and saw the room, and that room there is much bigger. It's a much bigger room than the actual room in which she was questioned for a pretty long time. And those agents blocked the door. And there's a line in the movie that doesn't really land as well as it does in the play, because the play it stemmed from this kind of bizarre line where an unknown agent opened a door and just said, without any prompt whatsoever, "Is this a room?" It created a very awkward moment, and then the door just shut, and the questioning of Reality Winner continued. And so that to me was always something that had a bit of a way of getting people to understand just how small and confined the space was in which they were questioning Reality in this house, as we understood the sort of cruelty and what was going on with Reality Winner. But you don't really get that in the movie. It doesn't quite work because the room is actually a pretty good size. And I also would say that I think the way they have it blocked, the agents aren't quite where they would have been in the doorway when she was questioned at her house. Rather than have the agents in front of the door, they have them pushed back, and there's a wall of windows which didn't really exist in this house. And I think it's fair to point this out because, as far as the accuracy and the authenticity of the film, they were really going for it. They couldn't use the actual home in Augusta, Georgia, but they did use a house that, when they went to the location to film, it looks similar to where she lived in Augusta, Georgia, actually not too far from the courthouse in which she had hearings where she was prosecuted. But uh, they had their own room set, and they could construct feasibly. I would imagine they could have made their own set that looked more like the room where she was questioned. But for whatever reason, they chose not to. And but this is, I think as an introduction to reality story, it's a very well done production. It's the first time feature for Tina Satter. There's other things I can say. They do have reality winner reading the document in it, or Sydney Sweeney reading the document in it. That raises some questions that I think are, I'll leave for another time, and outside the scope of a conversation about the movie itself, more of a thing of the issue of the Espionage Act, in which Reality Winner was prosecuted under, and the fact that Reality Winner can't really read from the documents. So it seems kind of empowering to have Sydney Sweeney's voice. You hear as Reality Winner reading an unclassified summary from the document that she disclosed. And they do this in the middle of the interrogation. That just like disrupts the interrogations toward the tail end to kind of give Reality a voice as you can feel it being snuffed out because of what the agents are doing to her in the room. But at the same time, I don't know if it was necessary, because it sort of undermines the tension and the dynamic that is being created dramatically. And so there's one choice that I wasn't really into, and also, like, I thought it worked as a stage play. I saw the stage play at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and I was invited to actually go there. I was part of a panel with Billy Winter Davis, Reality Winner's mother, and so I unlike many viewers who have come to this film and have a chance to watch it on Max, I knew the transcript very well. I knew how this was structured and what we were going to see. And so I get to be a little bit more picky about what I saw play out on the screen. Others who don't know the story, others who are just being introduced to Reality Winner, others who are looking for a kind of procedural crime drama, this might be just good enough. It will be compelling on its own without knowing all the very fine details that I'm speaking about here. But yeah, it's well-made production. There's a second production actually in the works called Winner, and the production has Amelia Jones would play Reality Winner, and there's other fuller cast, and that's going to be more biographical. There's actually a character that would play young Reality Winner, and then there's people who are going to play a prosecutor, Jen Solari, who was involved in going after securing the harshest sentence ever issued for an unauthorized disclosure of information to the press. So that one will be good. And then there's an independent documentary that's being redone, revamped by director Sonia Kennebeck, who's the director of National Bird. And it's now had added into it. It was United States versus Reality Winner. It played on the festival circuit. It's had added into it after some fundraising and some more work and some post-production. It's in the tail end of post-production. Now it has interviews from Reality herself.